Congratulations, Liverpool. You guys won the league. City look like they're out of it. The 4-peat was nice, but we just can't get the 5th. All I ask of you guys is that you don't massacre us this weekend. This is Game Week 13 predictions. Last week, I got 4 points, taking me to a total of 70 points. We kick off this week with Brighton versus Southampton. Brighton, who won against Bournemouth last week, they won, and they did good not to lose the lead with the red card. João Pedro getting himself a goal again. I really hate that guy. Then there was Southampton, who went against Liverpool. Honestly, they could have gotten something out of the game if they didn't have mistake after mistake that Liverpool capitalized on. For this game, it is at Brentford's home, so I'm going to go with a 3-1 win to Brentford. Next up is Wolves versus Bournemouth. Wolves, who demolished Fulham 4-1. Cunha and João Gomez, both incredible. I think they're both going to get moves. Probably not this January transfer window, but in the summer. And they're also out of the relegation zone, which, I expected. Then there's Bournemouth, like I said, who lost to Brighton. They had a good game, just a lot of offsides. Even Nilsson needs to stay on. And also their last chance from Semenyo, which hit the crossbar, if that went in, that would have been absolutely nuts. For this game, I feel like Wolves are on a hot streak right now, so it's going to be tough for Bournemouth, who have lost their last 2 games. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Wolves. Next up is Crystal versus Newcastle. Crystal, who drew against Villa, which they did good to do. They are actually improving week by week, which is good to see. And then there's Newcastle, who lost to West Ham, surprisingly. They're running to the same issue of not being able to finish. They really need to step that up. And there was a controversial call towards the end where Wilson got brought down, but it wasn't going to change the outcome of the game. For this game, I think Crystal have enough to get something from Newcastle, especially since Newcastle can't finish right now. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Next up is Forest versus Ipswich. Forest, who went against Arsenal. They lost, of course. I don't know why you would bench both Chris Wood and Gibbs White for this big game. I don't know what Nuno was doing there. And then there's Ipswich, who drew to United. Honestly, they had some chances, and I think it was a deserved point and a good point to get. For this game, I think it's going to be quite close. I'm going to go for a low-scoring 1-0 to Forest. Next up is Brentford versus Leicester. Brentford, who went against Everton, had a 0-0 game, very lackluster game. Nothing was going on in it after Norgard got his red card. Then there's Leicester, who lost to Chelsea, who put out a very weak team. There was no Mavadidi, no Fatawu, no Buonanotte, which costed Steve Cooper his job, basically. He's sacked now, second manager to get sacked in the league. For this game, I honestly see another boring game, but with some goals. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Next up is West Ham versus Arsenal. West Ham, like I said, beat Newcastle 2-0. Soucek, classic with the header, and then Wan-Bissaka's shot, which I don't even think he meant to do. And then Arsenal, who battered Forest. Odegaard is that guy. He is him. He is Arsenal. I think he is the face of Arsenal. For this game, I think Arsenal are going to bring West Ham back down. It's going to be a 2-0 win for me. Next up is Chelsea versus Villa. Chelsea, who went against Leicester. They controlled majority of the match. Maresca going against his old team and beating them. And then there's Villa, who was once again exposed by the counters. Both of Crystal's goals were from counters, so once again they're being exposed with their high line. But the story could have been different if Villa or Tielemans could have put away his pen. They could have gotten a win there, but I don't see them getting a win in this game. I think Chelsea has this in the bag, but still quite close. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win to Chelsea. Next up is Spurs versus Fulham. Spurs, who absolutely demolished City, putting 4 against them. Kulusevski and Maddison had great games. And then there was Fulham, who got 4 put past them, but I don't think that was a good representation of what happened. I think a 2-1 would have been enough, but they sort of fell off at the end. For this game, I feel like Spurs are very confident right now, so usually they get humbled, and I feel like it's going to happen here, but not a loss. I think it's going to be a 2-2, very frustrating draw. United versus Everton is up next. United drew against Ipswich. Honestly, they just need time to adapt to Amarim's new system. A lot of the players look out of just didn't know what they were doing, out of place. And then Everton, they were not hungry at all. If a team goes down with a red card, but like around halftime, you have a whole half to get a goal, and they just didn't come close. For this game, I see it going United way. It's at Old Trafford, so I'm gonna go for a 2-0 win to United. Then the last game of the game week, Liverpool versus City. This is gonna be bad. Liverpool did struggle against Southampton, but they had so many chances. They managed to put 3 away, and that was enough to win. And I do have to say that Salah taking off his shirt against Southampton from a pen is very shameless. Like, bro, come on. You don't need to do that. And then there's City, who got demolished 4-0. We're just terrible. With no DM, we didn't have Kovacic. Of course, no Rodri. And again, we look even worse. It's honestly just scary times to be a City fan at this moment. And with this game coming up this weekend, it's going to be even worse. We just drew against Feyenoord, having a 3-0 lead. So we're even more demotivated. So yeah, this is awful. For this game, I'm going to have it go, honestly, a 3-0 win to Liverpool. And I think that's when the league race ends and Liverpool wins here. Those were my Game Week 13 predictions. Tell me what you think in the comments, like, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.